So David has a quick intro. He'll talk a little bit about himself, I'm sure, just to give you some context, but also we'll focus mostly on the really great features that we think are specifically important for festival people like ourselves. So without further ado, I'll pass the mic over to David. We'll share his screen and we'll dive right in. So David, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Roy, for the introduction. And again, thank you everybody for joining this call. I always think it's important to say and to explain why we even propose or why we even promote and have any application in the first place. So what I always like to say is that actually all and everything began with our own crewing company and the business we founded with my partner like 15 years ago and started organizing tens, later hundreds, or in the end thousands of people on the events. And of course, it's a temporary work. It's an entertainment. Everything is fun, but there is a lot of ad hoc things. So it kind of pushed us during our road and during our life into creating something which will help our life a little bit easier. We always like to say it's not a rocket science to manage people, but it's managing people. So it's always a little bit tricky, and there is a lot of things in the steps. And that was the reason why we designed our own application that helps us on everyday basis with like recruiting people, with managing, scheduling shifts for various events, festivals, and concerts that we've encountered in the last 15 years. When the COVID and pandemic situation arrived, we even realized that this whole platform has a lot of common with volunteering management, and that was the moment where we basically started realizing that we need to provide the digital management solution of the volunteers even for companies such as Red Cross. And that was also a nice moment of really realizing that a lot of things regarding registering of the volunteers, people managing them is very, very similar. And we opened a new vertical new sectors where we would like to be more active, which is a volunteering management. And that's where we are a little bit leaning forward into the festival management itself. So having a Rock for People and other festivals such as Prague Pride or a documentary festival of Jihlava on board and starting using our platforms of tens of hundreds and thousands of volunteers being registered and active on a daily basis showed us that somebody needs to manage people for like hourly scheduling and managing payments, wages, and finances. Somebody from the Red Cross Association needs to do it purely for non-beneficial reasons without any money involved. So we also delivered the platform in 2 various languages for anybody who would be interested to have a system where we don't mention anything regarding the money. We have a completely volunteer language-based app where everything is only volunteers. We are not talking about money. We are not talking about shifts. We talk about volunteering and activities. If we would be talking about more money system, we have a shifts and based system for our business partners who operate with crew, stagehands, technicians, hostesses, and people who work on the festivals. But actually, the festivals are kind of in the middle of all those worlds. It's a community building, which allows you to bring people in and allow them to help you on positions which are very attractive and where the people are happy to help you for free. And then there are positions which are not the greatest ones, where we need to promote it a little bit more, where we even need to maybe offer the people a little bit of the salary in order to be able to comfortably make the festival done and everything ready. For this purpose, we designed this demo for today, where I'm going to spend a little bit more time about the features which we think are very critical in community building, shift scheduling, volunteering management overall. This demo is, as you could see on all the other pages, every festival, every organization can design their whole interface on the way that they need based on their logos, designs everything to make it look like yours. It's also important to say that the whole system is designed for the planners as the administrators who kind of have a much smarter Excel sheet and communication application, and on the other side for staff and volunteers. where I'm going to focus on right now and where I'm going to log in is into the admin perspective for the beginning to show you what features we have there that should make and streamline the operations a little bit more. And later on, I'm also going to sign up as a volunteer, as a staff member, to see actually how it looks from their perspective as well. Before I log in, there is also a sign up page. Of course, everybody needs to register new stuff. We try to make it as simple as possible. So you ask only 5 or 6 main informations to be able to bring people on board of the system. We believe it's a simple and easy way how to register people. There are terms and conditions and GDPR if necessary, easy check-ins, and everybody can enter the platform if necessary. But right now, I'm just gonna log the main admin and show you the features from the admin perspective. Don't get scared. The first thing that everybody always see is something we call dashboard, and the dashboard is here for the purpose of every admin having only the important things in front of his eyes when he opens the app. So that's also the reason why we have these panels and widgets over here. Maybe somebody in your festival or in your organization is more responsible for tracking new people who are registering or tracking the feedbacks or their attributes or profiles, which needs to be approved in order for them to be able to work for the festival. Maybe somebody is more a planner person who needs to know who is planned where and where are the capacities or positions which are not yet fully booked. That's the reason why everybody in the company can basically design their dashboard in the needs of their own and seeing everything at the first glance when they open the OnSinch. The Sinch comes with like 2 different views. One is a scheduler, which is a calendar view. There are a lot of people used on the calendar view kind of perspective. It's working very well, and I will dive deep into the, well, not deep, but at least lightly into the scheduler later. But there is also a list view, so everything can be viewed in the list view or calendar view. The reason for that is because if you try to schedule 500 or 700 volunteers in the scheduler and in the calendar view, it doesn't simply work. So everything in list view for massive amounts of the people on really large events or for a huge pandemic or volunteering activities which we've encountered with the Red Cross is unable to do within the calendar planning. That's why we have this list view over here. And to be honest, it's quite simple. Right now, it's Wednesday when we are holding the presentation, and I can see, for example, over here that in my demo, I have certain helpers and volunteers right now from 10 to 15 hours on 5-hour shift. In Festival Park, it's a shift day 1 for Concerts for Freedom. I have 4 people scheduled over there, 4 out of 4 for Festival Department A. And my lead or like a responsible person over there is Rob Brody on this particular shift. The other shift which is happening right now is these 2 volunteers, which is a Festival Department B, if you want to separate it for departments and have a later on easier filtering and scheduling. And I have a lead worker or responsible person, Harry, over here. If I hover over Harry, the system will give me a little bit info about his profile, name, surname, photo, maybe some highlighted skills such as driving license, car availabilities. This is all customizable for the partners, obviously, to set what kind of informations are important to track about the staff profiles. We can also see some upcoming shifts scheduled over here. Everything is fully booked with some not yet fully booked events by the beginning of the next month where we are missing 4 people. If I dive into the profile of the Harry, or if I simply search Harry over here in the top section, I would like to show you how it actually looks for the administrator to have some information about your staff member, no matter if he's a volunteer or if he's a regular working person. You always track shifts and his hours worked. If you need to track amount of the money or wage, you can also do it. And you can also track whether he was present or not. Of course, even with volunteers, we require people to come on time. If nobody shows up on very small, even for 4 people and only 2 people out of 4 are there, it could be a critical problem. So the attendance and the presence is the same important for volunteers as for anybody else. In order to be able to work with people, there might be necessity to track some personal informations. They don't have to be here, but for some reasons they might have to be necessary. Maybe you need to track their IDs, some kind of personal documents. Maybe you need to sign a volunteering contract or regular contract with the workers. So all of that can be done, and all of that can be also done digitally and electronically. So we save some paper and time on the go as well. Another important part are appointments, which is scheduling people for some team buildings and non-job related activities. So working with people also forces you to create some other events like that. And working with volunteers even more, because if they work for your festival, it is also good to later on filter out everybody and invite them on some wonderful summer team building to allow them to thank you through that team building. Attributes is something we call a digital CV of our volunteer or our staff member. And over here, you can decide what kind of informations are relevant for your festival in order to be able to pick or fill specific positions based on your needs. Maybe it's a language setup, which is very typical. Maybe it's his driving license skills, or if he's having his own car available on the festival. Maybe it's just general information about his profile or certain certification, which you need to track and upload. All of those can be customizable and set upable in the settings, and every festival and organizer can decide what kind of informations are relevant for your operations, so you can later on use them as a requirements and filtering options in the database. What we like a lot is our badge system. The badges are a little gamification, which makes it more fun, and the staff members and everybody can see these badges on their profiles. They can gather some stars, they can gather some various badges that you can design in the way that you want them for volunteering rock stars and for people who are really helping you a lot with your organization skills. You can track it through the badge system, and later on you can use these badges as a requirements, just like other attributes. So in a perfect world, you can say you have a position where you need an English speaking or German or French speaking person with a certain badge, and the application will make sure that you will get this person from the database as easily as possible. Working with people also forces you to track some feedback, so you also have a nice and clean way how to track negative, positive feedback about people. You can manually edit it, and you can let all the stuff working with others edit over there if necessary as well. There are a bit more things such as task management, calendar management, communication history with every single staff person. Actually, the system can send automatic emails, it can send text messages, it can send direct news. It's really, and push notifications. It's really streamlining the communication very efficiently to make everything much more easier for the planners and coordinators. And in the end, it also holds some history about the profile, so you always know what happened when, and there should be no questions asked about what happened with certain staff profile. Another part where I would like to focus on is the detail of the project itself. So if I open, let's say, this project, Concert for Festival Day 1, or if I search for Concert for Freedom, write it over here, I can open the detail of this particular shift and show you the structure of this project. So this is a simple 2-day project. I'm gonna hide the menu on the side to keep it clear. It's a very simple project where there are only 2 shifts, 2 days, and every day is having its people scheduled. We have a 1 lead person. It's good to use leads. When you are scheduling people with multiple positions, it is smart to have a 1 middle member who will take care of the organization on the location, who will give you attendances, who can be your middle person and communicator for that specific shift. You can have various positions, various roles. We can ask two helper positions over here starting at 10 and another 2 volunteers starting at 11, where we have a William and Walter scheduled. We can see that they can also work on the different type of contracts. So we can see that we have 2 volunteers over here who are, for example, for free, and then we have 2 other positions which are paid for any reason that might the festival need to do it like that. Also, the OnSinch is designed as a pyramid structure. Working with 1 person on the shift and working with hundreds also forces you to have a smart structure how to send message to either individual or to the masses. So if you want to do a communication with these 2 volunteers, with William and Walter, you can send them email, text message, or direct push notification just by clicking over here. But if you need to do a communication with everybody on the day 1, you simply use this button over here as an email, text message, and direct news. forcing you to send the message to everybody on the whole festival. It's also an option to click over here, which will basically put everybody on the project on the list and send them, again, email, text message, or direct push notification on everybody who is on the project. Every project have a location. So since the system is linked with the GPS and the Google Maps, it will tell you as well as the staff member where the exact location point is. So everybody should find the location on time. And also for every project, there could be description, maps, PDFs, files, comments given. So everybody really knows what to do, what to expect about the work and the workload itself. Also, working in events sometimes forces you to do accreditations, staff lists, and certain timesheets to kind of allow people enter the location or area or venue. So having the people in the database also allows you to generate all these documents smartly on one click. So if I select accreditation and select certain data profile attributes, it can immediately generate a document such as PDF with all those files given. So anybody can share it with their accreditation team or anybody responsible to put them on the guest list or on the lists to make sure that these people would be allowed entry any locations if necessary. That was from the shift perspective, some important things which I wanted to mention regarding the scheduling. But now I also want to move and show you how it looks from the staff perspective. So if I again open the profile of Harry Helper, actually another important part itself is how the staff can actually see it. So let me sign in as Harry so we can see exactly how the Harry would see it. But right now we're gonna see it on the bigger screen. Obviously, all of the people and staff members usually use it from their mobile phones. That's why the OnSinch is designed as a web progressive app. The people doesn't really need to download anything, which is a big bonus. They don't have to download any updates later on. They just add their little icon on their dashboard or on their home screen of their mobile phone, and they can access your system. If Harry is already signed for some jobs, he's already having it over here, and we always try to communicate only 4 things: the date, the time, the location, and contact person. If Harry is looking for more details, he can always click on more details to find out more about the job in the shift detail itself. Another important part on the dashboard itself is the shifts to close. If he is a lead worker and he is responsible for organization, he can give you a very quick idea about who arrived, who didn't arrive, and give you a quick comment. If the person is not a lead for any shift, this section over here is not here visible. So for all the other staff members or volunteers, they have only my agenda and feedback section. So people can share with you, hopefully, positive feedbacks about their experiences on the event or with working with others. It is also important to do certain communications, not only through text messages, emails, and push notifications, but also through menu, through panels like this. So you have an individual way how to set up the communication with everybody. So you can welcome them, you can tell them important messages in the certain situations through these something we call snippets, text windows. But you can also upload and create like videos, tutorials, create your own contact pages, or help an FAQ section in the menu to let everybody know what are the processes and rules in working for your specific festival. The most important part about scheduling itself is the open shifts availability. So when scheduling people, you might want to have some people that you book on your own and you know that they are the leads or they are the responsible, but then you might want to publish all the other jobs and shifts and make them live available so people can pick them. If I click on show available shifts, the Cinch works as a place where all the shifts, all the positions can be published, and you can decide whether is it first come first served basis or whether they need to meet certain requirements or whether they will join as an applicant and you will approve them later. It's up to you, and you can even do it differently for different positions, which makes complete sense. But over here we can, for example, very easily see 4 upcoming shifts. Out of those 2, I'm not available because of certain requirements, but I can also see this interesting thing that I can connect shifts together. So if you know that you have a 5-day project and you're looking for a volunteer who will only join if he will take from Monday to Friday all these 5 days, you can connect these shifts together and make sure that, for example, the lead position will be the one same person every day. This will also save a little bit of your time, stress, and nerves on the go. But if I open it, I can see that I don't have my badge experience lead for the specific position, so I can just see it over here, but I cannot join the shift. If I would like to join another shift, I can pick, for example, this simple shift, read a little bit more about the project, read the description. There could be attachments, maps, additional things. And if I'm interested, I can simply sign up for the shifts like that and immediately being part of that project. Every person later on have their own menu where they can submit feedbacks, see all the available shifts, have their digital wallet if necessary, have an overview about their calendar, which they can synchronize with their iCal or Google Cal, so they should never forget about activities that they have been signed up for. And they also have a communication and history of all their projects. In the right top corner, they have their profile. And within their profile, it's very simplified in order to add information which might be needed, update profile informations which are relevant and which we've seen from the admin perspective to be able to use the platform fully and to help you as much as possible from this perspective as well. Also, if there are any attributes which are valid for a certain time, you can see, for example, the expiration is being automatically tracked over here as well. And the volunteers can also check their badges over here in the system very easily. If it would be necessary, they can use the system in the various languages as well, but that's of course depending on the situation of which language would be required for this particular use case. I also promised a little showcase of the calendar part. So if I would log back as the administrator, I also wanted to click over here on the scheduler part. So if anybody is really like a deep calendar person and cannot imagine a world without calendar, any person can really view the availability or the scheduling of every position based in the calendar view, where you can filter stuff, show available shifts, activities, view your own individual settings in 3, 7, 14, 31 days, and do it through this smart scheduler as well, that where if you click on the shift, you get all the details about the project on the right side, and where you click on the filters, you have all the filters to search only available people on the left side. The scheduling is, I think, more interesting and more important for organizations who work with paid staff, with volunteers and with people who should go into the application, open it on their mobile phone and apply for the projects or just join in as a first come, first served basis. I think the most important is to schedule the projects, make them available on their board, and then just you can go in your database of all your stuff and decide who you want to message, or just message everybody and inform your people. We've just published new projects, new shifts in the system. Feel free to go and join all these projects as you need. Also, if you need to do any profile checks, it might be necessary to at least approve their profile photo, or maybe some kind of certification such as first aid certification you might want to see first before approving. The system also allows you with the easy approval of any photo or attribute given from the staff members, and also given comments. For example, Nathan obviously uploaded his photo with his head cut off, and if I would be very strict, I would decline his photo. But obviously, from the volunteering perspective, I wouldn't do so. I think I covered majority of the points that I wanted to cover, and I would want to continue more in the deeper or free conversation about the options, or if anybody's interested in anything particular. So I'm gonna stop my screen share for now and hand over the words to you guys, and thank you for your attention.